Hello everyone, this is the Final Bosman, and on today's episode, redneck jokes! Welcome to the show, I am Kyle Bosman, and this is our 75th episode of the Final Bosman. 75 episodes, wow. 75 episodes of keeping it real, kicking up dirt, being who I am. Kind of feel like Johnny Cash. For younger viewers who aren't familiar with Johnny Cash, he's the one who sang, "And you can have it all, my empire of dirt, and I will..." But basically, you would think that for episode 75, I would blow it up big, you know, 75, let's do a dance. Truth is, I don't really like any of the music in our new library, so there's like nothing I want to dance to. Instead, to celebrate 75 years of the Final Bosman, years episodes, we're doing Duck Dynasty, baby. Still no music. Duck Dynasty is a video game that is based off of course, the quasi-reality TV show Duck Dynasty. That's on A&E. This game is published by Activision. Who knew? Who knew this was coming? This is a game I bought. I bought this for $50 US. Why? I saw a trailer I liked. Why does this happen to me? Basically, that's what I want to look at this week. Today's episode, what is the value of a game like Duck Dynasty? Number one, fresh perspectives in uncharted waters. So actually, I feel like not a lot of games like Duck Dynasty exist anymore. You know, they exist outside of like our normal, what we look at. Everyone knows what the evil within is like, right? We all get it. We get you, evil within. Nobody gets Duck Dynasty. And that's what they say is like, get out of your comfort zones. Explore new horizons. Carpe diem. See things you don't normally see. And so I kind of thought like, you know, we look at that cover for Duck Dynasty. And you think, this is so dumb. There's no way this is good. And I think, you know what, maybe that's unfair. Maybe this is good. Let me hop into this world. Let me see their perspective. You're a new guy. You're a cousin. You're John Luke. John Luke doesn't speak, but then you find out later on that John Luke is a real person in the real show, and he does speak in the live action cutscenes, but not in the game. By the way, the people who play themselves in the reality show also do all the voice acting, and they're all miserably bad, which is kind of charming at first, but it'll wear on you. Anyway, the goal of the game is to be a member. You gotta be one of the Robinsons. You wanna be one of us? You gotta do all this weird stuff. Basically, that's it. And the game kind of assumes, I guess, you're a fan of the show already, because it doesn't itself, in its own world, give you a lot of reasons to want to be Robinson. And that's where it becomes an issue, is that Robinsons are people you don't want to be. There's a scene pretty early on where, again, it goes to live action. You see scenes from the show as opposed to like cutscenes in the game, where Cy, the lovable old Vietnam vet who's totally kooky, he shoots his handgun for no reason while they're hunting. And they're just like, "Cy, what did you shoot at?" And he's like, "Nothing." And then you're meant to like giggle at that. When we should stop doing that. Why is that still funny that people are firing, that people die doing that? How many faces does Dick Cheney have to shoot? Don't do that. Don't fire guns and don't like make that funny. Oh man, that should have been sad. I wish they played sad music after that. Cy, what are you doing? You know, later on there's a mission where I'm shooting beavers. I'm shooting probably over 20 beavers, some of which are just trying to escape my gunfire. And that wasn't enough. After that, they're like, well, there's still some beavers alive. Let's blow up their dam. And then so my poor character, John Luke, he has to like ignite this beaver dam, and instead of it just like collapsing, it explodes. And this is, again, live action. This is something that really happened. I was responsible for some Michael Bay beaver genocide. I gotta tell you, it doesn't feel good. From that point forward, I tried to pretend that I was an undercover cousin trying to take down this family from the inside. But as I played further and further, it became apparent that Duck Dynasty is simply a celebration of doing dumb hunting stuff for the sake of it, and celebrating just being a proud, powerful redneck. Well, let me tell you something. If you play Duck Dynasty for more than 45 minutes, you might be a redneck. Number two, maybe maybe there's a fun game hidden beneath all this idiot stuff. So when this game, like when I first got to start playing this game, I was actually pretty delighted because you hit the touchpad and a whole map is there. Huge map. Turns out Duck Dynasty is like an open world game. And there's hidden treasures all over this map for you to collect, and collecting those hidden treasures gives you rewards in game that means something to the actual game. My kind of game. What I learned though is that none of those things matter if the game within it isn't fun. And what the game is, you got your story missions. Again, that's you want to be a Robinson. Story missions are you like be like us. But then beyond that, there are 3 things. There's fishing, hunting, and fan boating. Fan boating, by the way, awful. Well, it is just so miserably unbalanced and poorly designed. You're like, everyone else is a stone and you just kind of bounce off of them and they're a-holes. And why are you racing fan boats? And there's ramps. They set up, everything else is pretty real world, but then they set up ramps on theirs. Forget that. Fishing's pretty okay. Hunting gets weird. Hunting gets weird because you're shooting a lot of ducks, and sometimes one of the Duck Dynasties will say, there's dinner. And you know he's lying. You're shooting dozens of ducks. You're not gonna eat all these ducks. And I know you're thinking, Kyle, you've been shooting ducks since you were 6 years old with Duck Hunt. I'm like, yeah, but at least that was hard. Even if you hold your gun up to the screen, Duck Hunt is hard because they move so fast. This game, here's what you do. You hold down L2 and that snaps your gun straight to the duck, and you hold R2 and you shoot. And it's just, I feel bad for those ducks. I'm not even granting my prey the honor of aiming at it. Feels wrong. And look, I know this is kind of crass, but if you ask me, I think Duck Dynasty was designed for a bunch of dum-dums. Number 3, self-loathing. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve to play a better game than Duck Dynasty. Maybe this goofy, ironic choice you're making in game selection is just masking the fact that you are punishing yourself by putting your mind in a world that you're positive you won't enjoy. And maybe all those trophies you're getting, like gold trophies that clearly take a lot of effort, maybe you want your friends to see those so that they'll judge you. And they'll think you're as much of a slimy idiot that you think you are. If that's the case, I think you could do better, man. Like, go get a platinum in PlayStation Move Heroes. In conclusion, when I started this game, I thought maybe there was something here, right? But this could be it. 3 hours later, I realized this game is as stupid as all of us think it is. This game is like, you see the box, you're like, that's a stupid game. You're right. Here is $50 I spent, and that $50 goes to PSN, it goes to Activision, it goes to a bunch of old racist white guys who are just too proud of their beards, and I'm not sure I should have done that. Here's like the first time where I played a game and learned nothing. Don't buy it. Final score, 0. In fact, maybe it's a good thing that like me learning nothing from Duck Dynasty has prevented you from learning nothing from Duck Dynasty. You're welcome. I always said the show is a service. I am a service to the people. I provide you a service. That's the episode for this week. If you're on Twitter, you can find me at Kyle Bosman. I'll be back here next Wednesday. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.
Yo, Bosman. Yo, Bosman.
What?
Yo, what are you doing? What do you do?
I have no idea.
You should at least be practicing scrumbers.
Hey, I'm fine at scrumbers.
Whatever, come on, I want to show you this thing.
No, I'm busy.
Oh. Listen, I know you're not happy that I'm your boss. But if you don't come look at this thing I want to show you, I'm going to go get a serving spoon out of the kitchen and knock on your eyeballs. Do you want to see how strong your eyeballs are?
No.
Don't tell anyone about this, okay?
All right.
Here it is. Look.
Where should I be looking?
There. There.
Are you talking about that pine cone?
Yes.
It's a pine cone.
Exactly. This is Beverly Hills. This is Los Angeles. Do you see any pine trees around here, Bosman?
It probably just fell out of somebody's box or something.
No. It has to mean something.
Look, Hubert, I'm sorry, but sometimes things just don't mean anything. All right, that's life, and it sucks. It's just how it is. I learned that from Duck Dynasty. I learned that from Duck Dynasty.
So there has to be a message.
No, the point is there isn't. There's no message.
But what if there is?
It's a pine cone!
Well, let's just watch it for a second.
No, I'm leaving. Hubert, what are you doing?
I just want to make sure it's still there.
Look, it is, right? Okay? I promise it is nothing.